Hello and welcome to Luxembourg. We're here for Intertrust Group's Private Market Insights event. I'm Tony Griffiths with Global Fund Media and I'm here with Antonello Argenziano. Antonello, welcome.
Hello Tony, how are you?
Very well, thank you. So it's been about a year since SFDR came into place and there's been a lot of changes. One of the things that we've seen as a result is some GPs reclassifying their funds down from Article 9 to Article 8. What does this tell us about the attitudes of managers, but also investors as well?
Sure, Tony. So a trend that we have seen on the market, especially in the retail world, is that at the beginning of SFDR, there's been almost a rush from some managers to reclassify their existing products to our Article 8 and in some cases even Article 9. Over time, they realized that it's a little bit more complex than that. Regulation is not particularly clear on what makes an Article 8, what makes an Article 9. There's no clear thresholds as such. So on top of that, we have also realized, and the market has realized, the cost of complying with SFDR, with a recent publication estimating it at over 20 billion. So you see there is complexity, it is costly, and at the same time, in some cases, if you're not careful, it may even backfire and you may be exposed to accusation of greenwashing.
So when you say backfire, could you give us an example of that?
Sure. So let me give you an example of what happened a couple of months ago with the Morningstar. So Morningstar, they provide a classification for funds on their platform, and they've recently gone through the legal documentation of funds that they have initially indicated as sustainable. And as a result of that review, they've removed, I think, around 1,200 funds from that list.
So obviously that's a big trend in the retail market. If we're looking at private capital markets, what's the demand like from investors for Article 9 or Article 8 funds?
So retail investors clearly have quickly shifted toward the ESG Article 8 and 9 funds. We have seen a lot of Article 6 suffering, so traditional funds, right, suffering following the implementation of SFDR. And in some cases, it makes sense. In some ways, it makes sense. Because if you go to your banker and he's asking you whether you want to put your money at work in a responsible way, you're probably likely to say, yes, I would. So this is where there's been a clear, strong trend in retail. What we see in the private market is a little bit more nuanced. So LPs are asking more and more to their GPs for data, reports to understand what they are doing and how seriously they are taking into account SFDR, sustainability risk. So that demand for data is clearly on the rise. At the same time, we also see some managers that are requesting sort of a roadmap to understand how their managers are integrating SFDR into their investment process. So I'd say that's probably how the private market is moving at the moment. It's a little bit more nuanced, it's a little bit more of a roadmap, but the direction is clearly the same.
Antonello, thank you for your insight.
Thanks, Tony.